Wow, you already know what it is. Big Dog Chico back up in this thing once again. Does Kevin Stefanski want to play Shedeur Sanders? Does he want the Cleveland Browns to win? Like, what's his angle? Are they trying to protect something? Man, y'all let me know. We're going to find out right now. This is everything Kevin Stefanski said in his press conference today. We also have thoughts from Uncle Neely. I'm going to play this clip. Let's get it in. It's the biggest dog Chico to the scene, the place to be, coming to you live and direct. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let's go.
Yeah, we like that.
Yes, sir. 17 of 32, dinking and dunking, a lot of ill-advised throws in this ball game. 2 touchdowns, though. But still, you lose, and the opposing quarterback throws for 54 yards. That's something you're not doing on special teams and defense, of course, because you gave up those 2 special team scores. But it's also something you're not doing on offense. So you only score 20 points in these situations. So against the lowly Jet, who's trying to lose also. So it's almost like who's trying to lose more with these 2 teams. Let me know what y'all think, man. I think Shedeur Sanders, of course, is the guy for the job. Kevin Stefanski apparently thinks otherwise. They're going to protect their investment, in my opinion, in that 3rd round pick in Dillon Gabriel. Let's see what the head coach of the Cleveland Browns had to say in his press conference today. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Matter of fact, let me let y'all hear what Uncle Neely had to say, because he kind of pretty much echoed what I just said right here. As a matter of fact, he said it first. Watch this.
The Ravens ain't out of it. The Browns are still idiots. And like I said before, if Shedeur can't do nothing else, he can save your damn job. And the first team that passed on has already the head coach has already lost his. And if you continue to not play him as the Browns head coach, even if the owner is telling you not to play him, the owner ain't finna fire himself 6 months from now, or 6 weeks from now, or 6 days from now.
Right.
Gabriel's performance, we talked about this last night on Uncle Chico Live, that takes Shedeur Sanders' name out of it. Play like there's no guy named Shedeur Sanders in the league. Let's just play common sense football. You would have given the 3rd guy an opportunity by now.
I can go for that.
The first guy got traded. The second guy moved up to 1. The second guy has not performed worth a damn. And you still refuse to give the 3rd guy a chance. Now, let's make it even worse. Let's imagine that 3rd guy led the NCAA, which is a record that still stands, in completion percentage. Let's imagine that same guy the previous year in college set like 19 records and won the Johnny United's Golden Arm Award. And you still can't find an opportunity for him to at least get out there and see what he can do when you are seeing what the second guy cannot do?
Right.
Just doesn't make sense, dog.
He ain't lying.
That's a fact. It just don't make sense, dog. It just don't make sense. And it doesn't matter who the other guy, what the other guy's name is, whether it's Shedeur or Joe Black. The fact that he's not getting an opportunity just don't make sense. But I think that they're not really trying to win, or they either think so much highly of Shedeur that they're not going to put him in behind offensive line that probably get him sacked constantly, and receiving core that's not up to par right now. Overall, you got some good guys out there who can catch the ball. And I'm sure they're excited and looking forward to having Shedeur out there. But right now, they're with Dillon Gabriel. And I think Dillon can be a serviceable backup or even a starter for certain teams. Hell, he would have performed better than Fields for the Jets had he been the Jets quarterback. I could see him being the Jets quarterback or someone else. But the Cleveland Browns quarterback has to have that strong arm, dog. You got to throw that ball through that cold weather at the end of the day once it gets down to the end of the season. I think Shedeur has that. He has to have the teammates around him that want to be there and want to play with him and play for him. And the coach has to recognize that at some point. We're going to play this whole interview, and let me know if y'all think that he's recognizing these things from Shedeur Sanders. He's
disappointed on that result yesterday, and we're spending time right now watching it with the players and trying to learn from that. And hard to win on the road, and certainly hard when you do some of the things we did in that ball game. But we're committed to this thing, and we'll just find ways to get better in all areas, and we'll go from there. Big division game at our place this week. With that, I'll take any questions.
All right, first question will go to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Kevin, just
not Mary Kay.
Wondering about the fact that news just came down that Brian Daboll got let go. Just wondering, I mean, I know you know Brian, and I know how you felt like when it happened to Brian Callahan. My question is then, I mean, how do you feel about it? And also, these guys are coaching rookie quarterbacks. I mean, can be a tough gig, right?
Yeah, obviously, I have a personal relationship with a lot of guys, Mary Kay, in this league, so you don't like to see that for them. So I'll, keep those type of things between us. But yeah, it's you always feel for anybody out there who's going through that type of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Kevin, it feels like a loss like yesterday's could, I don't know, be tougher to get over than some. So how do you get everybody to bounce back, especially sitting at 2-7?
Yeah, they're all hard to swallow, Scott. It's it's this business. So you never get used to it, and it stings. Having said that, you have to turn around and get right back at it. So that's what we'll do. We got to quickly learn from it, and then, like I said, you guys move forward to a division game at our place.
And when you go back and look at those 2 kick returns for touchdowns, what stands out, and then what changes can you make to special teams? Because it's happened before.
Yeah, obviously, not good enough. We can be way, way better than that. Some of these big ones, you got to get the guy on the ground and limit, what could be a bad return for you, but get him on the ground for a gain of 20 or whatever it is. So frustrating for those balls to go the other way on us. And we'll look at them and learn from them and understand how we can be better in a technique sense. And then we'll look at how we can move our guys around to make sure we got guys in the right spots, and like we always do. But yeah, that's tough to win on the road, tough to win a football game, giving up those 2 returns.
Thanks.
Kevin, I want to ask you about those returns too. How do you stay confident in Bubba Ventrone when it has been a problem all year?
Yeah, listen, I have a ton of faith in Bubba. I have a ton of faith in our special teams. We have to be better. That's the case. There are ways that we can try to be better. But it's definitely we'll continue to coach our guys hard. We'll continue to give them the techniques to use. But I trust our guys. I trust that we'll get back to work.
You have to make changes on those coverage units.
I think throughout the game, Jeff, and throughout the season, you're always making changes with guys, and depending on who's available to you in a given game. So we'll always look at those things.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Kevin, just what progress have you seen from Dillon start 1 to start 5? What areas have you seen drastic improvement?
Well, I think with young quarterbacks, Darryl, it's understanding that there's going to be ups and downs. Can Dillon play better? Yes, he can. Can we play better around him? Yes, we can. Can we coach him better? Yes, we can. So I understand the question, but I just trust that our young players at every position, and certainly at the quarterback position, are guys that are going to work their tails off to get better every single day.
And Jimmy Haslam said during training camp that you knew that seeing both young quarterbacks at some point this season was important. So just where is Shedeur at as far as his development, and do you have a timetable of when you would take a look at him?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to speculate, Darryl. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dillon is certainly committing to improving every which way he can, and all the while, all of our players, young players, are developing and working so hard behind the scenes to make sure that they're getting better on a daily basis.
Thank you, Kevin. If you could take us behind the curtain a little on that 4th down with 10 minutes to go, you're in plus territory, 4th and 1. Now, under your present setup, you decide to go for it, but who calls that play?
Well, let me first say this, Tony. I'm responsible for every decision, every play call, offense, defense, special teams. So I'll own all of it. And I trust our players. I trust our coaches. We obviously did not get the result we wanted there. And the desire, obviously, on 3rd down and on 4th down is to get that first. We came up short, but bottom line is it's my responsibility.
But, I mean, since you just made the play calling change, is it fair to say that Tommy called the play and you just agreed with the play?
Yeah, I'm not going to go behind the curtain all the way, Tony. Just to tell you, I trust Tommy, just like I trust Jim. I always have the ability to step in when necessary, but I'm going to always, give my coaches who I trust, I'm going to give them the opportunity. Are there times that you change a call? Yeah, there are. But bottom line is we did not come through there.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to ask about Carson. I mean, I know it sounded like his prognosis with ankle was always really good, like playing was on the table for him fairly early. It seemed like you guys knew, but to fight through that, to work through that in the bye week, and then to perform the way he did, like, what does that say about him and the rookie season that he's having?
Yeah, he has Wolverine blood, I believe is what it says. The kid's playing at an extremely high level. For him to come back from that injury and perform like he did, it was incredible to watch. And really throughout that bye week, he just kept getting better and better, and you felt like there'd be a chance of him playing. So, I have not looked around the league at how other guys are playing and that type of thing, but I'd be hard-pressed to believe there's a defensive player as a rookie that's playing better than him. And then factor in what he came back from, it's pretty remarkable.
Thanks.
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to ask you, I mean, with the offense, it seems like the offense is pretty fragile.
This is the Cleveland Browns head coach, Kevin Stefanski, in his media presser today. This is everything he said. But I do want to ask the question, Do you think that the Browns are smarter than what we're giving them credit for? Like, why is Dillon Gabriel still starting over Shedeur Sanders? Or is anyone saying that this is about protecting the long-term investment of Shedeur Sanders? They know that that Shedeur is the future. They know that point blank, period. The Browns want Shedeur to be ready when everything around him is stable. Could that be the situation that the Browns are in? They know that things are chaotic and it's not stable right now. They know that Dillon Gabriel is a steady placeholder that gives them a chance to stay competitive, but not throw that white flag, so to speak. Keep all of their players engaged because football is a game that you can't play halfway out there. You'll get hurt fast. So you got to keep them thinking that, hey, man, we're trying to win ball games. That's why Dillon is in. That could be one. That's if they're super, super duper smart. If Shedeur is out there and he's playing, that's going to give the team a spark, and they could win ball games, which will get them out of that top 10 draft pick area. But right now, they're in that weird zone where they want to stay competitive, but not too competitive. Playing Dillon keeps them in range for a higher pick without waving a white flag. And that's simple as that. And when they turn to Shedeur, it has to be permanent. That's what I think. It can't be musical chairs. You don't go to Shedeur, then back to Gabriel. You got to go to Shedeur and stay with Shedeur once you go to Shedeur. So you have to exhaust all of the Dillon Gabriel avenues to see how good he can be. Also, put him up for trade bait. And you can't do that if he's underperforming. Then you go to Shedeur. If he is performing at a rate to where he's good enough, but you're just not winning, then now he does have some trade value to another team, which you can put out there, especially during draft time. And then you can get another a higher pick than where you drafted him at, maybe another third-round pick or a second-round pick or something for him after he performs the rest of this season. Now Shedeur is your starting quarterback for 2026 with a more stable team around him, better prospects now. They did a good job in the draft overall with the picks like Swiss and Harold Fanning Jr. and the running back Sampson and Quishon Judkins. They did a great job in the draft. But now they got to protect that and do it again next year. And if you put Shedeur in right now, that's going to spark this team. I think the earliest you'll see Shedeur, barring an injury from Dillon Gabriel, knock on wood, is maybe the last game of the season when they know what their draft position is. And then they could put Shedeur in and say, hey, man, this is where we're going for next year. The league have gotten the chance to see Dillon Gabriel and what he can do. That's what I'm thinking with this. Let's get back to Stefanski's thoughts and everything he said during his interview today.
And has a tough time handling adversity. And I used the idea that went 95 yards, looked really good. Then you have the kick return. And after that, it took until Ronnie Hickman's interception to kind of get them jump started again. Do you agree that they have a tough time right now handling adversity? And if you don't agree with it, why?
Yeah, I think our guys responded at times in the game. Fred, did we play perfect? No, obviously we did not. I thought there were some missed opportunities in the run game. There were some missed opportunities in the pass game. You're not going to get every single one of those, but our guys, they're going to fight to the end. We didn't come through, as a football team, but the guys understand what an NFL game is like, and there are those ups and downs throughout the game.
And what about undisciplined? You kind of had 10 penalties, 78 yards, a lot of pre-snap and things that, even the first play of the game, Judkins goes 15 and gets called back. How can you adjust to those things?
Yeah, obviously, the pre-snap penalties are ones that we really can control. And post-snap, we can be great with our technique. But I believe we had 3 pre-snap penalties on offense, which is 3 too many on the road. We know the situation at the end there. We can be better. We will be better.
Thank you.
Kevin, kind of off of that, I know you want to be better, and you'll preach kind of those techniques and making sure they'll clean them up. But what does that look like? I think I've asked you about this before. What does that look like in a week when you're trying to ensure that disciplined, you don't get those pre-snap penalties?
Well, I think you emphasize it every week, like we do with the players in all meetings out on the practice field, and we talk about avoiding the avoidable ones, which are those pre-snap penalties, and making sure you're in the right formation, making sure you're not jumping off sides and those type of things. So we obviously we're not good enough in that area last week. And we will make sure that we emphasize it again, and make sure that it's something that's a strength of ours, and particularly it should be at home.
And you mentioned a little earlier just some of those changes that happen in a game, throughout a season. Dillon Gabriel brought up the phrase, if you keep doing the same things and don't change anything, it's the definition of insanity. Do you feel that you as a coach and this team has changed enough to create actual results on the field, or is there more that you need to change to turn this thing around?
Yeah, bottom line, Cam, is we need to play better football on all 3 sides of the ball, and we're going to start doing that this week at home, division opponent.
Thanks.
Kevin, just when looking back at the film and everything, what was your overall thoughts on how Tommy called the game?
Yeah, I think you guys will have a chance to talk to Tommy this week. I thought we had some opportunities there. We weren't perfect in any facet, so certainly weren't perfect on offense, but plenty to build off of.
And then just dovetailing off Cam and asking about things getting fixed during the week on pre-snap penalties and stuff. When you guys have the officials in for practices during the week, can you ramp that up with maybe them calling things a little bit closer than what they might normally do in terms of maybe preventing that?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with how we structure that part of practice. It's a point of emphasis for our football team, and it will continue to be a point of emphasis.
Kevin, going back to that 4th and 1, what should have happened there, or what went wrong that you weren't able to execute?
Yeah, obviously, first thing I tell you, Scott, is you give them credit. They did a good job, good defensive call versus what we were doing. Tried to get into a different formation and go quickly, but they did a nice job.
And then going back to Carson, there was one pretty big play where he wound up without a helmet on. Should that have been a penalty on that screen for a touchdown? Or what'd you see when you looked at that?
Yeah. Listen, they made a good play call. We got to try to get that guy on the ground no matter what.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, Kevin, just wondering, what does give you total faith in Bubba and the special teams, not just after what happened yesterday, but at various points throughout the season? There was another punt return for a touchdown and some other things that have gone on, but what kind of makes you feel that way?
Yeah, I think I get to watch our coaches coach. I get to watch our guys work, Mary Kay. We need to improve. We understand that. Those 2 returns yesterday are really disappointing, and our guys understand, everybody's role that we play in this thing, so we'll get it fixed.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yep. My weekly question, would Deshaun Watson be cleared to practice this week?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what we're doing.
Okay. And this was your first game this year, not calling plays. Did you do anything differently from last year when you were in this position?
No. Obviously my role is to make sure everybody's in position to succeed, and I'll continue to look for ways to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin, I wanted to ask you about that 4th and 4. Cam getting called offsides there. On TV, it looked like you were yelling the situation not to jump. The announcers were talking about it. Just where's your frustration level go when it's such a critical point in a game where you're trying to get the ball back in the last minute, so you at least have a chance, and a major mental mistake happens in such an obvious situation?
Yeah, as you know, Daryl, that's anything that happens in the football field is my responsibility. I got to make sure the guys are aware of what's going on. One play is not going to be the determining factor of that ball game. There are plenty of plays that we need to be better, but that's my job to make sure these guys understand those situations.
All right, that was Coach Kevin Stefanski's thoughts and everything he said in the press conference today. Let me know what y'all thinking. Why is Shedeur not playing right now? Why are they still sticking with Dillon? It could be this, that, or that. Whatever it is, y'all let me know. But we know that when Shedeur Sanders becomes QB1, that's when everything takes off. That's when the Shedeur era begins. Put a SS12 in the chat right now for my dog, Shedeur, legendary Sanders. Let me know what y'all think. Hit the like, subscribe, coming out other good stuff. I'll be back with more, man. We're going to stay on top of this thing, and Shedeur is doing his thing. You understand me? Going to be up and about the same piece in the Middle East. Yeah, y'all.
Me and contenders ain't got no relation. So what you win if ain't no reparation? How much you spending on your preparation? I'm about them binges so to win and be the motivation. Determination is the real power, pressure you should feel. Ours bills tower. Over us, I overcome, I'm overcomes. I need direct transactions, don't wanna wait till you load the funds. You hold the funds and Joseph come, promote the Kirk, demote your son. I overthrow the CEO, I'm taking over some. The chosen one, you throw me one, you owe me two. You holding one, I'm holding you accountable, act like you owe me one. Look, every lesson learned is a lesson taught. Every blessing earned is a blessing caught. Promise I'm meek and humble and grateful for every bit. The head is heavy, so your promise have a heavy fit. BiggDoggChico show. That sports talk. Scope up.